Hey guys, welcome to question MM439 of the Maths Methods Fortify study guide. So we've got this question that says a school is looking at the proportion of students who take particular subjects. There are 200 Year 12 students at this school. The school decides to take a sample of 30 students to estimate the proportion of students who will take biology next year. Of these 30 students, 8 are taking biology this year. Write an expression for the 95% confidence interval for the likelihood that a student will take biology next year. Awesome. So a confidence interval, 95%, we can say is equal to p hat minus z outside of root p hat 1 minus p hat over n. And you should be able to remember this by the time you come to your exams. Awesome. Where p hat is our proportion of students taking biology, right? So our proportion is 8 out of our 30. So 8 out of 30. Minus our z value, which is our, for our 95% confidence interval, is 1.96. That's something else that you should remember as well. Now p hat again is 8 out of 30, outside of 1 minus 8 out of 30, over n, which is the total sample size, which in this case is 30. So just make sure that our square root is part of that. Cool, and then same again, just with a plus this time really. Plus 1.96 outside of 8 on 30, 1 minus 8 on 30, over 30. Awesome. Now, we can leave it like this. I like to kind of simplify this a bit more. So what we can simplify it down to is 4 on 15 minus 1.96 square root of 176 on 30 over 30. So then 4 on 15 plus 1.96 root 176 on 30 over 30. So that. So then we can actually simplify that to, so simplify the surds. We can get 4 on 15, 1.96 times, now this 30 and this 30 cancel each other out, and we end up with the 176. Cool, and then so we get 4 root 11 on 30, 4 on 15 plus 1.96 times 4 root 11 on 30. This is our first mark. So that's our only mark for part A, guys. Let's move straight on to part B. Now part B is very, very wordy and actually quite difficult because there's not actually many questions like this. So B is 3 marks this time. And it says, of the 30 sampled students, n of them take maths methods as a subject. Find a quadratic expression for the minimum value of n such that the margin of error for the 95% confidence interval for the likelihood that a student takes maths methods next year is at most 2%. Give your answer in the form 0 equals an squared plus bn plus c, where a, b, and c are real constants. Awesome. So let's just take this step by step. So we know that a margin of error is given by z outside of p hat 1 minus p hat over n. Okay. Now we know that our margin of error has to be 2%, which means that our margin of error is 0.02 because it's the same as 2%. Now z in the 95% confidence interval is 1.96, so you can just say that. Outside of our proportion of students who take maths methods. Now we don't know the number of students who do take it. We only know that n of them do take it. Okay, which means that the proportion of students who take it is going to be n on 30, right? Because there's still 30 sampled students, and n of them take maths methods, right? So n on 30. So then we get n1 minus n on 30 over our total sample space, which again is 30. Now, we can divide both sides by 1.96 to get 0.02 over 1.96, which equals the square root of n over 30, 1 minus n over 30 over 30. And that square root is still part of that 30. Now I'm going to change this into a regular fraction, so we can actually move the decimal place over twice to get 2 over 196, which is the same as 1 over 98. Okay. Now I'm going to square both sides to get rid of this square root, so we get 198 squared, and that's equal to n on 30, 1 minus n on 30 outside of 30. I'm going to multiply both sides by, actually, no I'm not. I'm going to make this 30, like multiply that 30 with that 30, because n on 30 divided by 30 is n on 900. Okay, so what I'm going to do is say n over 900 multiplied by 1 minus n over 30. And this 1 minus n over 30 is the same as 30 on 30 minus n on 30. So then we still have 1 on 98 squared equals n on 900 outside of 30 minus n over 30. Awesome. And we can actually multiply this 30 and that n out the top. So we multiply n with that, so we get 30n minus n squared over 900 times 30, which is 27,000. Multiplying both sides by 27,000, we get 27,000 outside of 1 on 98 squared, which equals 30n minus n squared. So then therefore 0 equals, actually this up here is our second mark here. Our first mark is this bit here, so subbing in everything. So then therefore 0 is equal to n squared minus 30n plus 27,000, 1 on 98 squared. You see that? Yeah, awesome. So that's our third and final mark for part B. I know this is really crazy, guys. If you didn't get it, don't stress too hard. But feel free to ask any questions that you've got in the comments below. But otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.